Welcome back in to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Parkside Cabin Rentals. You know a great time to go to the Smoky Mountains? To Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg? The month of May, next month. It's because most spring breaks, spring trips will be past. Summer vacations won't have kick-started yet, which means all the attractions and all the destinations, you get them without tons of traffic and lines. And the best place to stay when you're up there, Parkside Cabin Rentals. They got tremendous rates all the time, but their weekday rates are glorious. ParksideCabinRentals.com. Get to the Smokies. If you're not doing it this month, next month is a winner. May is a great time to get to the Smokies. Book your cabin now. Okay, Vol defensive line coach Rodney Garner made himself even more popular with fans this past week when he made it clear that he and his defensive linemen are hungry for bigger and better things. Let's take a look at his comment in terms of expectations at Tennessee. Obviously, all of us, we have to reassess everything that we're doing. Our expectations, obviously, I think maybe we exceeded some expectations last year, but it's still not the expectations that we want, that we came to the University of Tennessee for. So we've got to raise the bar, and we've got to continue to raise the bar. I don't think any of those young men, when they signed to come to Tennessee, they signed and said they wanted to come and be a part of a 7-6 program. They said they wanted to come and compete for championships, SEC championships, national championships. I know that's what I want. I know that's what Tennessee wants. I know that's what the expectation is. And I know there are fans out there going, yeah, loving that. My question is Tennessee ready to raise the bar this fall?
Not to that level.
Not the national championships and
not the SEC championship. I wouldn't even say the East Division championship either. I think it's going to take time. Is that the expectation? Yes. Do you want to be a 7-6 program 5 years in a row? No. But I think it's going to take a while to build Tennessee up to being an East Division championship contender, my opinion. And then after that, you start taking steps. But, yeah, that's the goal. But the concern is, when is it going to take you to get there?
Yeah.
And for Tennessee, to me, it's not next year.
Yeah, you just don't have the horses. I mean, you got to look at your roster and compare it to other rosters. You know, Tennessee, yeah, they can get to probably 8-9 wins in a not a perfect world, but in a very good world this fall.
That'd be a very good world.
Yeah, but again, you know, you have the horses to do that. But when you look at going toe to toe over an 8-game schedule with a Georgia, you know, that's a tall task, and certainly that's the goal. You want to get there, but that doesn't happen, quite frankly, on the field. That happens in recruiting. That's 4 years of recruiting you got to do to be close to that. And you still got a long way, and Georgia's not going anywhere. So that's what you got to do.
I always come back to there's a big difference between the word goal and the word expectation.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Goal is what you aim for the stars, aim for the top. Expectations, those need to be focused in reality a little bit. I don't know that the reality is they're going to take another step forward this fall. I don't know that that's guaranteed. I think everybody expects it's like if you're not moving forward, you're moving backward. When that sounds good, but in reality, your trend line can still be going up.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example of this. Let's take a look back at Johnny Majors and Phillip Fulmer. The growth isn't always this stair step that, okay, 7 wins this year, so if it's a failure if you don't win 8 this next year. That's not the case. Look how long it took Majors up and down. You think you're breaking through, and then it's backwards. Fulmer even, he took over a really good top 10 program. They go 10-2, then 8-4, then 11-1. One game worse, then you're SEC champs. So the idea that Tennessee, I think there are a lot of people that are going to see that comment, and whether they see that comment or not, you're going to have a lot of people who say anything less than 8 wins this year means you're backsliding and it's a failure. I think you can win 6 games this year, and depending on the circumstances, still be moving forward as a program. So I don't necessarily think that expectations and goals in this match up. I don't think the expectation should be stair-step growth. I think the goal should be stair-step growth, with reality being Heupel is building this program and the trajectory still remains good.
Yeah,
Thoughts, Josh, Chuck?
Well, I mean, and it's like Jimmy's pointed out, you know, regardless of your record, how close are a lot of those games? Are you in those games down to the very end? With the Rodney Garner comments, John, you pointed out when you're praising freshmen, are you talking to other players? Like Josh covers recruiting, he knows Rodney Garner's known as a great recruiter. Is he talking to some recruits too? Here's what we're trying to
players.
Yeah. Here's what we're trying to build at Tennessee. That's kind of what I get there, a hidden message.
Yeah, I mean, I think, not to sound too much like Nick Saban, but like embrace the process. Like,
right.
College football is a results
That sounded
business.
a lot like Saban.
I know. College football is a results business, and everybody understands that. But what is going on under the hood, right? You look at the Butch Jones era.
Yeah.
Unquestionably the most accomplished coach post-Fulmer that Tennessee has had. Well, under the hood, it was not great. So even if you
go.
win 9 games and your foundation is sort of rotted a little bit, that's a problem. Well, if you take a step back this year and you win 6 games, but you're going toe-to-toe with teams, you're
Right.
still recruiting well.
Exactly.
Again, look closer. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what fans have to do. It is a results business. I agree, but you also have to look at the process. And I think especially now when you're trying to build, that's way more important.
Or how many horrible calls cost you 1 or 2 of those games?
Some of us in the media need to think that way, too.
You may be right,
The media
yes.
jump on just the wins and losses. Go ahead.
Yeah, so with Rodney Gardner, what he said, I love what he said because he's experienced a lot of success, so he understands what should be expected, big picture, long term. I don't think he totally expects to win an SEC title this year, but he expects Tennessee to get there. Part of the issue with expectation conversations is behind the scenes, if they don't reach their own expectation, they can say, okay, why not back to the drawing board? What do we need to do next to get there?
Right.
On the outside, when expectations are not met, you start burning furniture. So, they need to have that kind of expectation because it's a message to the players, it's a message to recruits, and somewhat to fans of, hey, believe in what we're doing here. But how you view the perspective that comes with that kind of talk can be different internally versus externally.
Exactly. He's talking to his players. This is our expectation. Fans hear it, some media hear it, and say, well, this is our expectation too. This is what we're all going for. It's like, it can be the goal, but I wouldn't make that my expectation just yet. All right. When we come back, Vols finish off their series with Vanderbilt today. Let's check in with the voice of the baseball Vols live from Nashville. John Wilkerson joins us next. Going back on the Sports Source.